Well, kids, we got a big, heavy box of cards to open. Now, before we open said box, or while I'm opening said box, we must talk about the history of this box here. First of all, we'll call the box Woody. Woody comes to us from, I want to say it's Texas. Yeah, Texas. San Antone, to be exact. He was roughly, it was under $100. Let me put it that way. I won an auction that I probably had no business winning. What the hell? These are, what? I need better setup in order to show you guys stuff like appropriately. We'll pull these things out as we go through here, but like, what is this? I don't remember seeing that this was in there at all. Okay, well, coming soon to a whoa. Oh boy. There's going to be so much bass in here. This is going to be something of epic proportions, I feel like. Oh boy. Yeah. Yep. Let me get a box. This is going to be very, very long form, so you'll have to check it out on YouTube for the most part. I'm not even really going to be oh my god. Oh my goodness. So here, let's do some sorting. We'll use Albert as our backdrop here while we're sorting some of this. Oh man. So the naturals, we got Edgar. This is going to be perfect, like 10-cent quarter box, 50-cent box. The naturals. Why are they all flipped around this way? Ron Gant, Jeff Bagwell. I just sold a whole box of this. All right, so we'll start doing things like you saw all those guys. Those are stars. How we're sorting them is that, and then the junk guys go there. Aramis Ramirez. This is kind of bassy. Olerud. No offense to John, but nobody buys Olerud. Now, I didn't buy this for these kinds of cards, just to give you a heads up. So, like, when you're seeing these, Joe Kennedy, I mean, that's a Freddie Garcia. He was pretty good for a while. Jermaine Dye, Ramon Santiago, Fan Club Mark Mulder. These are the kind of cards I throw in a gigantic box and sell. Fleer Greats, Oral Hershiser. That's pretty cool. We'll hang on to that. Checklists. I don't always keep checklists, but I keep one or two usually sometimes because checklists actually sell, especially older ones. I didn't really know that. I never really would have thought, but somebody told me that a while back. There's a Don Mattingly. We don't keep Matt Williams. Ruben Rivera. We don't keep old Rubenstein. Dave Nielsen. John Jaha. Will Clark. Cardinals team cards. We're really looking for SPs. I sort stars. Like there's opening day, and then it looks like National League All-Star print. Zach Greinke. We'll pull some stars out. Jose Canseco, one of his many jerseys. I mean, one of these is different. Somebody's going to want one of those. Ben Zobrist, Matt Moore, Charles Johnson, Mark Portugal, Fred McGriff, Yankees Classics, Jimmy Keith, Scott Sabrapapa. Brown. Most of these are just commons. Rico Bronya had like one good year. The reason I'll show you the reason why I bought the lot. You'll know it when we get there. It's going to be a long form video. Obviously, as I've said. That's so funny that was in there. I didn't even know that there was a buy. Unless they threw that in, that'd be pretty cool if they threw that in. I didn't really expect it. Hey, there's Barry Bonds. Yonder Alonso, Minnie, Jared Washburn, Derek Lee, Doug Mink. This might be a half hour long. This is a big ass box. I might have to like clip it and sort this and then come back and like have you guys see what I pulled out of it. But opening day, Matsui, that's gold and that's blue. Matsui, got a little run of Kaz Matsui here. Sandoval, Walmart Blue Border exclusive. We short that. I know this is time consuming and bullshit. There's some of the guys that I know, I'm sure, are watching this and like, oh, that's stupid. Brian Wilson, Blue Border. Mark DeRosa, Cognac. Doesn't suck. Jonathan Sanchez. That's numbered to 2005. That's just a base gold. So, I mean, there's probably a... Oh my god, this box is massive. I'll give you... I'm just still peeling off the top layer. So once I get to a point where I can show you how much is actually in here overall, I will. Another Naturals, Fred McGriff, Ochoa, Alex Ochoa. I remember Alex Ochoa. Naturals, Joe Carter, the Naturals, Chris Herman, Lieberthal, Melky Cabrera, the Natural, Jeff Francoeur, or I guess we could probably call him like the unnatural since he didn't actually... Oh, love that sound. Both the cards actually look perfect. That's crazy. Delman Young, Garrett Anderson, Ryan Garco. Alright, now we take these and put them in a bulk box and we sell it on the cheap. Now, here's the thing. Usually when I do this, I'll buy a box for $200, $300, $400, something like that. More in some instances. And then that's a Johnny Cueto. This is a really nice lot. This guy probably hated shipping me this, I'll be honest. Johnny Cueto Cognac. That's pretty cool. Roger Cedeno, Ron Coomer, Phil Nevin, Joe Vitiello. He clearly took these out of Pages. If I come across a freaking Griffey bubblegum in here, I'm going to flip my mind. All over itself. Tim Salmon. Soriano Finest. We sort Soriano Finest. Bob Wolcott. LaTroy Hawkins. Mike Sweeney rookie. He just doesn't play is the problem. Curtis Goodwin. Gaetti, Leo Franco, Dimitri Young, Brian Hunter, Louis Alcia, Antonio Alfonseca. A lot of guys you remember. Billy Koch was really good for a couple years. There's a Cal. It's a checklist, so we'll let the next guy that gets some of this bulk have it. Well, that's the thing I was saying. I usually do like buy $300, $400, $500, some boxes like that. This was a lot that was so unbelievably cheap, to be honest, that the bulk that I sell is probably like I'm gonna put this up for stupid cheap, and somebody's really... I might even give it away just because it's so inexpensive. Baines, people buy some Baines here and there. John Valentine, Steve Avery, Alan Trammell, Marquise Grissom. I'm skipping by some guys I don't feel like turning around. Joe Alvet, Carl Everett, listen to me. Carl Everett, Matt Miesky, Nigel Wilson, CJ Nitkowski. I'm going to shut up. You guys, I'm just kind of saying some of the names so you know that I'm not... There's Darryl Strawberry, Yankees Uni, Roger Clemens, Jeff Bagwell. And listen, these are 92s or 95, 96, all that kind of thing. And you guys can sit here and look at it and go, oh yeah, nobody's going to buy that shit. But I sell it all the time. So, hate if you want to. There's another stack of bulk. Let's see. Alright, I'm almost to the point where I can show you some things. But oh my god, this is on. Alright, freaking real. Just absolutely, I mean, everything you've seen was on this layer. Not even like, yeah, this is crazy. There's no way I'm going to be able to go through all this tonight. I'm going to have to do this when I get back from vacation. So Brett Boone, Pedro Estacio, Orlando Hernandez, Roger Clemens, Ryan Braun, Fred McGriff, Edgardo Alpha. There's patches in here somewhere. That's why I bought this lot. Somewhere in here there are patches. I don't know if we're ever going to get to them. And I don't know what. Holy crap. But there's like, I mean, you got Upper Deck. That's 2005, you got Finest Sterling. It's commons, but people buy commons of certain things. Ovation, Biggio, 3 of them. There's Adam LaRoche, first year Futures Game All-Star. That's kind of neat. Oh, that's Andy LaRoche. I don't know Andy LaRoche. I thought it was Adam. Tony Womack. Soriano. There's a Soriano. I don't know. We'll sort both of those. Just because. Eric Davis acquisitions. Common. Gary Anderson opening day. Robin Ventura opening day. 2001 opening day. Jay Buhner. Shannon Stewart. Mark Loretta. Bobby Jones. Matt Clement. Carlos Lee. John Franco. Richie Sexton. J.D. Drew. A whole bunch of guys. We'll just press on to the next one. Oh, score 96. Not a fan. I do not like score 96. We'll let the next guy deal with most of this. We'll just see if there's anything. I don't even think there's anything really big in score 96 at all. Like, if there's a Griffey in this, I'd be almost probably wouldn't want it. So let's just skip that score 96 for a second. There's more Topps Finest. Starstruck Mondesi, Tino Martinez, Kirby Puckett. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the focus on here, but I also want to see the cards myself. Ochoa, there's Tony Gwynn with his batting average on it. That's always fun. Chewed up Paul Goldschmidt. That came from a magazine. Manny Ramirez, International Flavor, Schultz, Lance Nix, Jacob Diekman. Bunch of Phillies here. Maglio Ordonez, Jim Abbott, Ken Hill. Hi, my name is Ken Hill. I'll have a whole bunch of Finest right there. I'm gonna try and get that out. I can't quite get to it. I have to dig this stuff out. Let's see, Greg Vaughn. I just had a thought. My next show, I put this in a box and put on there, first person to make me an offer, or, make me a terrible offer to take this and see how terrible someone can get. Let's see, Ivan Rodriguez. We'll take Ivan. And really, a lot of the times I don't even sort some of this stuff. I'm trying to sort out like the guys that at least you've heard of and that like someone might actually collect versus some of the people that like no one's gonna want to collect. I don't have time to sit around and hope there's a market for somebody. Rick Reed, Orlando Cabrera, Furcal, Mark Grace, Mark Mulder, Sheffield, Glavin. Like Glavin, Delgado is probably a good thing to sort these days. Carlos Delgado's market, I never really was. It hasn't really always been there for me at certain points. But I think now with the Blue Jays being kind of popular. Alright, let me get this stack out of here. The next one. Actually, I'm going to pull from one of these side buckets here. Oh, this is a big stack. I didn't need to grab this big stack. Oh. There's a whole bunch of Finest. I like Finest. Jim Leyritz. Common. Jimmy He. Jeff Cirillo. Mark Wohler. Shane Reynolds. Holmgren, Sean Dunston, Jimmy Haynes. Oops. I didn't want any of these guys. Tony Phillips, Andy Bennis, Donias, Charlie Hayes, Bill Swift, Rod Beck, Jay Bell, Ken Caminiti, Glenn Allen Hill. I thought that was Barry Bonds for a second. Tino Martinez, that doesn't suck. They're commons, but we take Yankees. Butch Husky. Mark Grace, that's cool. James Baldwin, Royce Clayton, John Burkett. I'm really glad that I'm the only person that noticed what all this stuff was. Finest, that's commons. Jay Bell, Alex Ochoa, Doug Drabeck. These have all got the stuff still on it. Kevin Brown. David Ortiz. Opening day, Matsui. Yasmani Grandal, BJ Upton, Randy Johnson. I see something coming there. Willie Randolph, that's pretty cool. Alan Bennis, Matt Williams, Yu Darvish. Jason Giambi, Tino Martinez. So Rico Bronya, no, it's Todd Zeal. Chipper, Sports Illustrated for Kids. Joel Hernandez, Brett Myers, Jim Parquet, Sidney Ponson. No, they're... Where were they?
Like I took them, you gave them to me, and then where I put them.
It'll come to me. I'll come find them. But they're up there. No, you brought them in. That's a big stack of... So there's less in the stack there. But that's okay. Kind of expected there to be lulls in some of this. Oh, shit. That's cool. Oh, boy. That's a whole stack of Topps Finest. Oof. That's the stack I just had. Get rid of that. Oh, boy. Miguel Tejada. Andy Pettit. David Wright All-Star Futures. That's pretty cool. Manny Ramirez. I'm going to have to make more room here because I don't have enough. At this exact moment. Take a drink. Score 96. Gross. Gross. Gold Glove, Barry Bonds. Frank Coeur, Greg Gagne, or Jeff Fassero. That was Jeff Fassero, not Frank Coeur. Let's get another stack. Try and give myself a little bit more room here. Man, there's just so many freaking cards in here, guys. And there's a lot of finest, which is not what I expected. So I'm happy about that. Very, very happy about that. Larry Walker, Jason Hayward, David Wells, AJ Burnett, Manny Ramirez, Kerry Wood, David Wright. We're into the Mets now. Looks like this has to be somebody's like collection box that they pulled the top end stuff out of and said I'm gonna get rid of the rest. I don't really know. I mean, it's a lot of base. Don't get me wrong. There's work here, but like, and I'll have to do another part because there's no way I'm gonna be able to finish all this tonight. I had massively understated or underappreciated how much there was in here. I would love to be able to go through all of this tonight, but it is difficult as shit. Nigel Wilson. That's just something, nothing much there. Tom Lane. There's an A-Rod checklist. I mean, we got old ass Bowman with gold signatures on it and shit like that. There's a Frank Thomas opening day. Red. Troy Glaus. Halliday gold signature. Ramon Castro. Thought that was a gold medallion. Octavio Dotel. That's number to 2005. There's old Andy LaRoche again. Andy. There's Adam. I knew they were together at one point, unless one of them changed their name. First edition. Johan Santana season highlights. Another season highlights. Johan. That's a turkey red. Johan. Eric Chavez. Chinho Park. Soriano. That's a pretty cool looking card. Posada. Ben Grieve PlayStation card. That's fucked. Sean Casey, Lumberjacks, Miguel Tejada, Yankees Classics, Dwight Gooden, Kenny Lofton, Tim Salmon. Why do I always find these with the missing, like they just get popped out? I don't understand. How did it happen? Alright. We're like 1/10 through the box. But here's a ton of finest. Paul O'Neill, Andy Van Slyke, Todd Zeal, Ray Langford, Steve Farr, Tim Bogard, Todd Hundley, Brian Jordan, Luis Polonia. These are all the secondary people, mostly. Not people in general, but baseball players at least. Ken Hill, Cecil Fielder, Brad Osmus, Galarraga. Excuse me. Steve Traxel, Mike McFarland, Melvin Davis. After this, I'm going to chase for the patches just so I can at least make sure that those are in there. And this guy doesn't send me like a whole box of low-end commons and base. But I mean, there's definitely been some cooler stuff. I've seen some numbered things. It's just been the wrong people with a lot of points. There's the Chris Hammond. Emilio Bonifacio, Scott Niosberg, Adrian Gonzalez. Denny's cards, these are cool. John Jaha, there's Juan Gonzalez. Denny's cards are cool. Jason Kendall, Dante Bichette. Travis Fryman, Mo Vaughn. Johnny Damon, Jason Kendall. Somebody ate at Denny's a lot. Ben Zobrist, he's a good utility guy. Scott Kazmir, I see a Cognac. Greg Maddux in the Padres uniform, that's nasty. Peavy, Trevor Hoffman, that's cool. Cliff Lee, blue border. John Mayberry is the Cognac. We'll pull it just because it's a Cognac, but Jimmy Rollins, Kenny Lofton, Roy Halladay. Halladay sells, y'all, if you don't already know. Halladay freaking sells. Matt Morris, rookie. World history from Upper Deck. That's cool. Jay Bruce, Joseph Montero, World Chapman, Gypsy Queen. Josh Beckett, that's number to 2009. Pretty cool. David Murphy, Jason Bay, Jacoby Ellsbury, Chrome. Numbered to 1960. This lot's insane. This thing's gonna paper itself like 5, 6, 7 times over. This is nuts. I can't believe. Jeez, I feel bad for the guy that sold this now. I'll have to send him something. Tom Glavine. Jason Weeks, Todd Frazier, Eric Stevens, Ronnie Freeman, David Murphy, Johan, Sean Green, Dusty Baker to 2009, Jay Bruce. People buy Jay Bruce, believe it or not. First edition Jay Bruce. Icons, Jay Bruce. They're not buying base Jay Bruce or like non-rookie Jay Bruce. That's an OPG variant, I think. Gold Cup. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Ow. Fuck, I hurt my foot. Oh, that hurts so much. I see something shiny. I want to go after it. Ooh, die cuts. Let's see what happens here. Justin Morneau. Numbered Justin Morneau. Or is that just gold? I think that might be the base. Pavano. That's a Walmart blue border. Matheny, Sexton. Macklemore, Spezio, McGlinchey, Mike Sweeney. I gotta get to bed. I just got done saying I was gonna go look at patches for this. I can't just pass this stuff up. There's too much crazy stuff in here. Jeff Nelson. Gotta look at every card. Hideo Nomo Game Face. Never seen that before. Bartolo. Kirby Puckett Award winners. Sosa RBI Kings. That is a Carl Yastrzemski 3000 club. Pretty cool. Manny Ramirez Future Stars. Luis Gonzalez Diamond Kings. Ben Reeve, Jason Schmidt, Frank Thomas, Absolute Memorabilia. Gianfranco Sean Green, 2020 Topps HD. George Kelly. Finest Felipe Crespo, Tools of the Trade, Craig Wilson. Oh, I think I found the patches. Yep, we're starting to get in the patches here. Al Leiter, Skybox Thunder, Rock Solid Foundations. There's a Mo Vaughn Crushed. Eddie Murray. Okay. Bringing Matt Garza, some guy. Raleigh Fingers. Garrett Anderson, rookie. He has no market. Scott Rowland, Topps or Bowman Chrome. Tulo, Hank Greenberg. Nap LaJoy, Stankiewicz, Matt Carpenter, Fame Game, Albert Bell. That's pretty cool. All right, so here we got some patches. Preston Wilson, number to 325. This is why I bought the lot. Not this specifically, but CC Sabathia, number to 400. Edgar Martinez to 1200. From Stadium Club. Tim Salmon to 5,000. Jason Kendall to 400. Johnny Damon to 400. Paul LaDuca to 400. Mark Ellis to 500. Kaz Suzuki to 1,200. Garrett Anderson to 100. Jeremy Burnitz to 325. Todd Helton to 775. Mike Lowell to 400. Klesko and Phil Nevin. Carlos Beltran. So there's way more, and I'm like, that's the only section I got out of this so far. It's that freaking big. So part 2 to come in about a week.